What if I told you that one of the planet's most elusive predators is hiding out not in some remote jungle, but somewhere you'd never in a million years expect? That's what we're digging into today, the secret of the leopard's city.
Okay, so when you think leopard, what pops into your head? Probably the Serengeti, right? Or maybe some deep, tangled jungle. Well, here's a question for you. Where on Earth is the absolute highest concentration of leopards? Go on, take a guess. I bet the answer is going to blow your mind.
All right, I'll give you a little hint. It is definitely not the Serengeti. Forget everything you've seen in those nature shows. The real answer is so much wilder, and it totally redraws the line between their world and ours. So, before we get to that big reveal, we really need to get our heads around the leopard's secret weapon. It's not just about their power or their stealth. It's something even more impressive, their unbelievable adaptability. I mean, this is really why leopards are such amazing survivors. They can set up shop almost anywhere. Dense rainforests, wide open deserts, you name it. Their ability to adapt is just legendary. But, as we're about to find out, that superpower is being tested like never before. And to see just how fragile things can get, let's zoom in on their rarest cousin. This is the incredible and kind of heartbreaking story of the Amur leopard, a cat that was pushed right to the very brink of extinction. Get this, just a couple of decades back, this was the entire world population of Amur leopards. 30. That's it. Just 30 of these incredible cats left on the entire planet. They were, for all intents and purposes, gone. So, what went so wrong? Well, it was basically a perfect storm of bad news. They were hunted mercilessly for those beautiful coats. Their forests were being logged and burned down. And on top of all that, they had to compete with an even bigger cat for food and space, the Siberian tiger. Tigers will actually hunt leopards if they get the chance. But then, things started to turn around. People decided to act. First, in 2012, Russia created the Land of the Leopard National Park. Then, in 2019, China created its own massive park right across the border. And the big dream? To connect them, creating one single, giant protected corridor where these cats can finally roam safely between both countries. And you know what? It worked. The results have been absolutely incredible. The Amur leopard's territory has tripled in size in just over 2 decades. It's a massive win for conservation. It just goes to show you that when we really try, we can pull a species back from the edge. Okay, but here's the twist. While all this amazing work was happening to save leopards in these massive parks, another group of leopards was using that same superpower, adaptability, but in a completely different, almost unbelievable way. They weren't just adapting to the wild, they were adapting to us, which, brings us right back to that big question from the beginning. The city with the highest density of leopards in the entire world is Mumbai, India. I'm not kidding. Right in the middle of a massive, bustling city, these big cats aren't just getting by, they're actually thriving. And it's completely baffling scientists. So how on earth do we even know this stuff? Well, researchers managed to fit a few leopards with GPS collars to track their secret lives. And look at this map. It shows the absolutely wild journey of one leopard named Ajoba. They moved him far away, and what did he do? He walked 89 kilometers straight back to the outskirts of Mumbai. And he lived there, totally unnoticed, for almost 3 years. Incredible. And this is their secret. This is how they pull it off. The tracking data spilled the beans. Check this out. During the day, they barely move at all. They just hunker down and stay hidden. But at night, they turn into ghosts, moving almost 6 times faster, 6 times more. They've completely flipped their lives upside down just to avoid running into us. And if that's not wild enough, look at this. This graph shows just how close they're getting. At night, these leopards are spending up to half of their time within 25 meters of a house. That's like right outside your window, closer than the street. They are literally the ghosts of the city.
Okay, so the big question is, how? How is this even possible? How can a 140-pound predator be living in our backyards and we have absolutely no idea?
It's like they're living these 2 completely separate lives. During the day, they pull back into the forested parts of the city's parks, just rusting, staying completely out of sight. But then, as soon as the sun goes down,
the city itself becomes their hunting ground. They use that famous leopard stealth to just melt into the shadows of the streets.
So what are they eating in the middle of a city? Well, their usual wild prey isn't around, so they've adapted. Their main food source now? Domestic animals. Things like stray dogs and feral pigs. For a leopard, it's actually a pretty reliable buffet right there in the city.
It's just incredible. One of the researchers on this project said it perfectly. They said these leopards just move through these areas without anyone ever noticing them. They've completely mastered the art of being invisible in plain sight, slipping through back alleys and right past people's homes. And let's get one thing straight. These aren't just some lost leopards that wandered into the city by accident. Oh no, the research confirms these are resident, breeding populations. They tracked collared females successfully raising their cubs right there on the urban fringe. This is a stable, functioning urban ecosystem. So, what does all this mean? Well, it basically forces us to throw out the old rulebook. We have to completely rethink what conservation even looks like in the modern world. You see, the old way of dealing with a problem leopard was just to catch it and move it somewhere else, what they call translocation. But what we're learning is that this just doesn't work. A lot of the time, it actually backfires. The animal gets stressed, tries to make a dangerous journey back home, or it just ends up causing problems in the new place. And that's really the big takeaway here. The future of conservation isn't just about fencing off some perfect, untouched wilderness anymore. The real challenge, the new frontier, is figuring out how to share the space we already have, how to manage wildlife in these messy, human-packed landscapes where most of us live. When you think about it, the leopards of Mumbai have already done the hard part. They've adapted to us. They're living these incredible secret lives right in our shadows. So the final question really isn't about them anymore. It's about us. As our worlds keep overlapping more and more, can we learn how to be better neighbors?